I am Ramasundari, professor in data science department. I am leading computer organization for you. Today I want to discuss about fixed point representation, floating point representation. In general, in computer arithmetic, the numbers which are represented in two different manners. One is fixed point, a number which is approximately defined. And if you want to represent any of the result exactly, so the exact values always contains a decimal point. So that we are calling it as floating point representation. So the numbers which are represented as fixed point representation and floating point representation. Fixed point is exactly the number which doesn't contain any decimal point. Suppose I have written 625, which is a fixed point, and if I have represented 14, that is another fixed point. This fixed point number is again represented in three different manners. So those are nothing but sign, magnitude, representation, sign, one's complement, representation, and sign. So complement representation. Here I have mentioned sign. So sign means any number have two signs, that is positive and negative. To represent positive, generally we are not mentioning anything, but in binary we are taking the first bit as 0. And to represent negative, the sign is taken as 1. So here I have given few of the numbers. So these numbers are represented in 8 bits. And in these 8 bits, 1 bit is for sign and 7 bit is for representing the specific number. See, initially I have given to represent 14. So that 14 is plus 14 and minus 14 if you are taken. If it is plus 14, then it is represented as, so first bit is sign, so that is 0, 0, 0, 0, and to represent 14, 1, 1, 1, 0. If you want to represent minus 14, first bit is for sign, that is 1, then 0, 0, 0, and remaining we are represented as in this way. See here, to represent plus sign, sometimes we are not using any sign, but if it is a negative number, See here, fixed point means we are taking some value, but if we are taking the floating point representation, the number which contains a decimal value 625.25. So this is we are calling it as binary point. So in floating point representation, here the binary point, either you should have to move it to the extreme left or extreme right. Either this side or this side, you should have to move this binary point. So if you are moved to this point, then 62525. And if you are moved to extreme left right hand, then that becomes 62525. Then when you are moving any point to any one of the direction, what is the precaution you should have to take? So in this case, suppose if you are taking the floating point number in this way, generally you are writing that 10 power 0, 10 power 1, 10 power 2. And after the decimal, we are writing as 10 power minus 1, 10 power minus 2. So in this way, whether we are moving the binary point